Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo and we're here at Emerson College. I'm delighted to be joined with Manuel with his fantastic movie, Ember. Let's take a look at the clip.
You look beautiful.
Number 4, Manuel, right? Is this number 4?
Yes.
Thank you so much. I think it's a record. I think you're a New Filmmakers record now.
Yeah.
Of most projects.
I just keep coming back.
Please.
Keep coming back.
Well, we tell you to keep coming back. So no, but listen, congratulations on your film, on your 4th film with us. It was so joyous to see it, you know, in person at the Academy.
Appreciate it.
But for those that haven't seen Ember, tell us a brief synopsis.
Ember is a story about a family that is, it's a grieving family that it's odds when a traumatized young woman comes into their lives claiming to be the daughter that was taken from them a decade ago.
Yeah.
It's a story about identity. It's a story about motherhood. And it's a story about what some people call the calm after the storm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just about trauma, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Ember.
You always, like always from your first like few shots, I'm just like in it. I mean, I'm like, where is the world that you're taking me into? And it was really, really engaging. It's a traumatic story and it's a sad one. Where did the inspiration come for you, Manuel?
This actually came through a program at Art Center. I was a student when I shot it. I shot it a long time ago, but then pandemic hit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was doing 3 exercises, and we actually shot this a week before El Triste, the previous film that I had, you know?
Okay, yeah.
Back in 2019.
Back to back, Manuel.
Back to back, a week before, and through the program, I worked a lot with an amazing writer, Alexandra Segel, and we were talking about what type of stories should I try to tell during this program. And I was just so, I'm very highly stylistic on my work, but I was always so intrigued to just try to like take it down a little bit and just focus on characters very strongly for this piece. And through the story that Alexandra suggested, I deeply connected with the idea of family in general, you know, recognizing family and what you would do if a family member is gone and then comes back and that person has changed, you know, because trauma changes people.
Yeah.
And you know, that motherly instinct of recognizing your daughter, I feel like when a person changes so much through trauma, that might be altered, that might be fractured, you know?
Yeah.
So I was just so intrigued to hop on this story, and with the amazing help of Alexandra and some of the people from the crew and the cast, I was able to put myself in the shoes of a character that I thought I might not put myself in the shoes for some time or in a while, you know?
Yeah.
Which is a mother. It's a mother. That's very far from my personal experience.
Yeah.
But that's what I love about films.
Yeah.
You tend to learn through your daily experiences about life. And the beautiful thing about film is that you force yourself to put yourself in the mindset of characters or people that you cannot be further away from your own experience, you know? And that's the way you learn about life without going through those experiences. Just analyzing how you would react, how this person would react, and just try to emphasize and that's what film is, you know.
Yeah.
We emphasize with characters that are going through stuff that we may not have gone through, you know. And just as the audience does that, the filmmakers does that in the process of making the film. So I don't know. I was just very intrigued to put myself on those shoes.
Well, I think you did a great job with that, and
Appreciate
I think it's always lovely to share something that is not something maybe that you've experienced, but we've all come from, you know, a mom who's, you know, and I think moms care so much about their children, and what I love as well, sometimes we see films where we showcase the trauma, like the actual action of the trauma. This was like the post-trauma from the perspective of obviously daughter and mother. And I think with a mom as well, like there's the extra layer of guilt, you know, that she shouldn't be, but like she obviously wanted to be there for her daughter, but obviously was drawn away from that. And I think you displayed that feeling of just like that probably hurt knowing her child has suffered, you know, through trauma. And I think that came across really, really well in your film.
Appreciate it.
Now with your cast, again, you know, you've got to get people that raise those stakes, that go to those places. How was that process for you casting, and how did you talk to your cast about how to kind of share this experience on screen?
Yeah. Julia Farino, she is incredible. And from the moment, I mean, I was a film student when I made this film, you know, so I was going through a learning process.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say how much working with her really helped my understanding on how to work with actors. She was clearly like a building block on my career on how to understand how to talk to an actor and how to analyze a character with an actor before the set, you know. And I love talking to actors before the set, and then once I'm there, I am of the mentality that the conversation has had to be so big in pre-production that you go there just to try new things, but we are connected through that long conversation, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I love with her. I sat down for a lot of hours to just talk about character, to understand the mentality that she was into. And when I was on set, I feel like we communicated just really quickly. We didn't have those, you know, everybody says that you have these psychoanalytical moments on set with actors. I feel like most of that happened in pre-production.
Okay.
And the communication on set was just on point and really fast, you know? And all of the other actors were incredible. Chloe Grace, the actress of Ember, that was a very unique, interesting process. I knew from the very beginning that I wanted to separate myself from the truth of who that girl is and separate her from the truth, you know? And we sat down and I told her, you know what, I usually have a long conversation with actors, but in this case, I just I want us to get confused together, you know? So we started thinking about reasons why she's the daughter and reasons why she's not the daughter, and we never came to a conclusion. And I don't know, it's weird because my initial instinct was, no, you gotta know exactly who this character is. But through that conversation with Chloe, I was like, okay, no, we don't need to know, you know, and let's just let's have the team be confused about who this woman is, you know, and it was kind of like an experiment that you can go through while you're in film school. That I really appreciate that I did that, you know, and I think it really pays off.
It does. I love that you made that choice. I love that you didn't reveal everything. You know, I think it's so important because you challenge the imagination of your audience, you know, by allowing us to think our own thoughts. Or maybe it's because of this, or maybe, you know, she's this way because of this, you know, or maybe the mother's feeling this way. And I think it's so nice to be challenged as an audience member too, and try to work things out. And, you know, it's also great not to come to an answer as well, you know? Yeah. Now, making this in film school, I mean, obviously a little while ago, I mean, back-to-back productions, I mean, is there nothing Manuel can't do? But how was that, like, this particular experience on set? You know, was it quite stressful because you were obviously making it in school? How was that experience for you making it?
It was it was. This is a great example of the importance of understanding that a lot of the creative process in film, or the main blocks of making a film work, comes through making sure that the team works well together, and making sure that the collaborators that you're putting in are in it for good, and they're gonna do it because they're passionate about it. And shooting these projects back to back, I mean, I'm the film. Ember is in festivals right now because I finished post-production a little bit ago. Then, you know, pandemic hit, you pause everything. I focused on El Triste, tried to finish that film, and but this is a great example of how I was not too concerned about making the films back to back because the communication was just very efficient, and that comes from the process of production. I was co-producer with Sebastián Torres Green. He's a great collaborator of mine, and he made sure that my creative process was the thing that I should be focusing on, you know? So that was great. And yeah, shooting them back to back, I feel like one thing informed the other, you know? We made sure that part of the crew from Ember joined us in the other production, and it was a great learning experience on making sure that like I said, the main building blocks of the productions are set clear and set on stone from the very beginning, and then things just flow a little bit more, you know?
I feel like you make us all kind of relax on sex. You're like, you know what, I've thought of that, so I think that's a quality of yours. Now, as you say, you've had 4 projects with us. You are always a person that I'm like, you're always filming, always shooting something. Is there anything from this particular project that you may have learnt the most? Is there anything in particular from this project that was different to others for you?
Yes, absolutely. This is a project that I intended for it to be a slow burn, and I intended for it to not necessarily have a lot of turns and twists. And this is a project that I mean, it may sound weird or pretentious to say that it's more contemplative. We exist more with the characters, you know? I was not trying to go from part of the plot A to B and C. For example, the bath scene, that was something that I was so passionate about, just existing with her, and this person that everybody has opinions on who she is, just being there with her alone.
Yeah.
You know, and then it doesn't really matter by the end of the film if she's the daughter or not. You just see that this is this hurt person that when she's alone is her. You know? And by the end, I mean, the last turn of the film is kind of being the daughter or not, she's just hurt and alone and lost. And of course, some people may say that the decision to take her without doing the spoiler alert. I don't know if I can do this. But the decision of not doing the DNA test comes from both sides. Some people may call it fear and cowardly of figuring out the truth, but some people may call it an act of kindness of understanding that this woman needs a home.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's kind of like these two spectrums clashing together.
Yeah, and it's still human beings that have gone through experiences and gone through traumatic experience on both sides, and they're both seeking love and understanding and attention, and you know, and I think that's beautiful. You know, it's kind of, you brought it back to the human nature, not necessarily the relationship that may or may not have been. Dare I ask, because you know, but no, before we go into that, actually, you've been part of our Latinx program that we've had with the Academy. Actually, that is a record. So you're a record for having the most films of new filmmakers with the Academy. That is definitely something we can say now.
Yeah, 3 times now.
3 times,
wow.
Right? I mean, my goodness.
First time in person.
First time in person, which is so special. I can't believe we did this on Zoom for 2 years. So with that being said, how was that experience being in person doing that?
It's an eye-opening experience. It's just, it opens up your mind to understand that these organizations that we seem to think that they're so far away are reaching out I'm putting an arm out to like help people up,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's just incredible to see people that because I knew a couple of people from the program, you know, we've been friends for a while, and seeing collaborators grow at the same time as you're growing, it was kind of like eye-opening to understand how this film is based on generations,
Yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and as collaborators grow, they bring their friends with them, you know, and that happens as well with the Academy and NewFilmmakers LA and some other programs that I absolutely adore and admire, is that they're being these carriers of hope for these new filmmakers to see that there's an audience for it, for their work, and to see that these organizations are actually on the lookout, you know. So that's very pleasing for me, and I mean, it was great to be able to meet film critics that I read every day, and suddenly he's doing the Q&A for me, you know, and that was insane.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah.
And for example, I'm a good friend with Guillermo Casarin, who did Bad Hombrewood, you know, and I remember that whole process of him being so stressed out and walking around the room trying to make the film happen, and then seeing the reactions of the people seeing that
It's
film.
amazing.
So
Yeah.
it's just eye-opening, and it's great, and I love Larry and Emma and the entire team, and I want to keep coming back.
Well, I
So
don't.
if you'll have me, I'll keep
Manuel,
coming
I
back.
mean, I'm just saying, just move in, you know, make things easier on yourself. No, honestly, we really appreciate, you know, not only our, you know, fantastic filmmaker, such a
Appreciate it.
wonderful ambassador for the organization. So I normally say what's next, but I'll just say what's the next film you're submitting to New Filmmakers LA. That's the easy way to say it.
I have a couple of things as a producer that I'm very excited about, that I've been working lately with my best friends and collaborators, the producers of my film. Now I'm producing for them. Like I took a mantle of producer for maybe like a year and a half. So we have some stuff coming up that you should be on the lookout for.
Okay.
And
Will you let us know?
I'll
Yeah,
let you
okay,
know,
cool.
Yeah. And
Good.
I'm working on the feature. I'm hoping to get
It's
that out
wonderful.
soon, and it's a unique story. So I'm
Thank
excited
you.
for it.
Well, I just, you know, again, thank you. What I always love is you always keep us thinking with your stories.
Thank you.
I'm
so
always still thinking about, I'm always still, you know, imagining, you know, different ways it could have ended or be. And so thanks for keeping our minds always active with the storytelling that you put out there. So thank you very much.
much. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Manuel, everybody.